How in the world could anybody scam the beloved Charlie Brown? It happens, though, year after year. And you'd think by now old Chuck would learn his lesson, but apparently he hasn't.
It's time for the My Retirement Clarity Podcast with Lee Perkins, financial planner and president of J.L. Perkins Wealth Management. Get ready for a good dose of inspiration, simplicity, implementation, and of course, clarity on how to successfully prepare for retirement and grow and preserve your wealth. Here's Ben George with Lee Perkins.
Hey there, what is going on? Man, I'm excited to bring you this episode of the podcast. And if you're new to the show, I'm your host, Lee Perkins. I am the owner of J.L. Perkins Wealth Management right here in beautiful Macon, Georgia. Our firm specializes in working with retirees and pre-retirees, and so we just feel like this is the group that we can bring the most value to, and so this is who we have chosen to work with. And of course, you can learn a whole lot more about our firm at our website, www.myretirementclarity.com. There are a lot of really great resources that you can access for free, so check it out. So on today's show, we are recording this as we're just coming off of Thanksgiving last week. So I hope you and your family had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you were able to spend some great time with your family and maybe your close friends. And of course, give thanks to our Lord Jesus Christ for all the blessings in your life. We are all blessed to live in the greatest country on the planet. Even though it seems people constantly whine and complain just about all the wrongdoings that go on in our country. But you know what? People don't risk their lives to try to leave here for better opportunities. We are in the land of opportunity, and I am very, very proud to be an American. So I guess this is probably where I need to sing that song, but I'm not going to do that because you don't want to hear it. So anyway, I got an email from one of my mentors last week, and it wasn't just to me. It was one of his marketing emails that goes out to his entire database. And his email made a brief comparison to one of the most beloved cartoon characters of all time. So there's a chance that over the Thanksgiving holiday that you may have watched the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special. I think Charlie may have been canceled for a while, a few years ago, but I think he's back, and I'm glad he is. So if you didn't see it this year, you've probably seen it in the past, and I did some looking at it. It's hard to believe, but this was first released in 1973, so it's crazy to think it's been around for that long. And in that episode, what happens? Well, they're playing football, and Charlie Brown sets up to kick a field goal. Well, who is the holder? Well, of course, is Lucy. And Lucy is without a doubt the world's worst holder because every time Charlie Brown gets ready to kick the ball, what does she do? Well, she yanks the ball out of the way and he winds up flat on his back. Lucy gets him every single time, and every time Charlie Brown falls for it. So whose fault is it? Well, I would argue that although what Lucy is doing is pretty lousy, it's probably Charlie Brown's fault for doing the same thing and expecting something different to happen. And so as a kid, I sort of always felt bad for him. But now, as I examine this situation with adult eyes and I look at it under, with a different life experience, I really don't feel that bad for him anymore because this guy can't seem to learn his lesson. Even though I really deep down, I think he knows what's going to happen, he does the same thing. Who knows, maybe he's just too trusting of a person, and he really thinks deep down in his heart that Lucy is going to do the right thing. But I think he knows how this thing is going to play out time after time. So, when I make the comparison, I really see this every once in a while when I meet with new folks here in my office. And here's what I'm talking about. Somebody listening to this show will book a 15-minute phone call with me. And that happens pretty frequently. We get a lot of folks reach out to us They just go to the website, talkwithlee.com, and set up that initial call. And so the whole purpose of this call, from my standpoint, is really just simply to find out what the major concern or the major concerns are. And if I think I can help, we'll set up another meeting to go over things in a little bit more detail. And we call this meeting, this is our discovery meeting. This is me just discovering more about you. And by the way, this whole process is outlined on the homepage of our website. I think you scroll down to the bottom and you can see it. So at this discovery meeting, we'll gather some additional information from the person who called in, and we'll try to figure out exactly what they're trying to accomplish. And it's during this meeting that we really get to the root of what their concerns are. Of course, there's a lot of data gathering, we'll get some of the numbers and things like that, but it's really more about me trying to learn as much as possible about the potential problems that the person may be facing. Because after all, if they didn't have a problem or some kind of concern, they probably wouldn't call me. So we'll then take all that information, we'll go back and we'll add it to our planning software, and we will begin to assess where the person is versus where they told me they want to be. And once we get everything into our various softwares and we analyze the situation, we'll have the person back into our office, or maybe on a Zoom meeting. We're doing more of that nowadays because we got people all over the country reaching out to us. So we call this meeting our strategy meeting. And it's at this meeting where we're able to illustrate the path that somebody is on. And then we can show them some of the things that we would recommend them to sort of put in place to put them in a better situation or a better place going forward. Now, I'll tell you that I know that we can't help everybody. And every once in a while, I'll meet with somebody that I think has pretty much got everything covered. And if I don't think I can put them in a better position or a better situation, I'll let them know that they've done a great job. I'll pat them on the back and we will sort of part as friends. But I will tell you, this only happens maybe 1 out of every 20 or 25 times that somebody has got everything covered. The other, 19 or 24 times, I think I can probably put people in a better position. And thankfully, most folks that I meet with see the value that we provide, and they decide to move forward with our firm. They wind up becoming clients of our firm, and we help them navigate what I call the ever-changing landscape of retirement. But every once in a while, somebody will pass on our recommendation. And that's fine. There's certainly no obligation for anybody to become a client of ours. But I think deep down, they know what they're doing is not what they should be doing. But change is just not very easy at all. It takes effort. And so for a lot of people, it's just much easier to keep doing what they've always done. So in essence, they line up for the kick, they take the step forward, and like they always do, the football gets pulled away and they wind up on their backs, just like Charlie Brown does. They know they should make a change and they know they should do something different, but they just can't seem to get off that hamster wheel, and they keep on doing the same thing year after year after year. Hey folks, Lee Perkins here. If you've listened to this podcast for any amount of time, you know how much I hate taxes, and I know you probably do too. Our politicians are completely out of control. Their spending is off the chart, and you've got to be prepared for increasing taxes in the future. So we've written a book called Diffuse, 7 Steps to Protecting Your 401k or IRA from the Ticking Tax Time Bomb. You're going to want to grab a copy of this book and learn how you can protect yourself. Then you'll have to decide if you want to take action right now, or if you'd rather wait until the IRS changes the rules of the game. Either way, the choice is yours. To get a free copy of the book, just text the word diffuse to 478-475-2050. That's DEFUSE to 478-475-2050. And we'll send you a free copy. Thanks again for listening. Now back to the show. So, if you're a listener and you're not sure that you're on the right track, then maybe you need to consider doing something different. And I'm not saying it needs to be me. There are a lot of people out there. as long as it's somebody who can look at your situation objectively and help you improve, that's what you need to do. If you decide to reach out to me, of course, I'd love to chat with you and talk about your situation. All you have to do to start the process is go to www.talkwithlee.com, and we'll have a brief 15, 20-minute phone call to talk about your concerns and maybe what the next steps might be for you if I think I can help. So we just want to make sure that you don't wind up like Charlie Brown and you keep falling for the same things over and over. So that's it for today. Just a short lesson from Charlie Brown and Lucy. I don't even know what Lucy's last name is. We just call her Lucy. So anyway, just a short lesson from those two cartoon characters. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time. Lee Perkins here, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into the show today. If you like our podcast, we would be honored if you would share the show with others. And one great way to do that is by posting the show to your social media pages or by just telling others about it. Either way, we would really appreciate it. And of course, if you do enjoy the show, we would appreciate it if you would give us a 5-star review, and this certainly helps other people like you find our show. And if you want to learn a little more about our firm and how we help people have the best retirement they can possibly have, go check us out at www.myretirementclarity.com. There are a lot of great resources that you can access directly on the website. And of course, if you want to have a conversation with me, you can visit www.talkwithlee.com, and this will take you directly to my calendar. And there you can schedule a 15-minute phone call so I can learn a little bit more about your situation. Of course, everybody is not a great fit for our firm, but if I think we can add value and put you in a better situation, I'll let you know, and we can certainly talk about the next steps. So thanks again for tuning into the show, and we'll catch you next time.
Investment advisory services are offered by J.L. Perkins Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor and insurance agency. Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, legal, or investment advice. Always consult with a qualified tax, legal, or investment professional before taking any action.